Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to some more. Excuse me. Good lord. Let's play Mario Kart 7. In the previous episode, we played as Yoshi and did the Special Cup. Today, we're going to be Koopa Troopa. And we're going to take on the Shell Cup. Let's go. Also, sorry for my sniffling. It's allergy season. Which, you know, fun. Luigi's Raceway from the Nintendo 64. Oh my. And, I'm getting like, I know I talked about this when I started the Let's Play about the nostalgia just hitting me in the face, but like honestly on a day like today when the weather's pretty all right, and my allergies are suffering, I do feel that nostalgia hitting me in the face, and it's not a bad thing, you know. I like having a nice little dose of nostalgia, you know. It helps keep me sane when I'm really stressed. Because Lord knows there's just a whole lot of garbage happening out in the country right now. And I'm not too terribly pleased, excited, definitely upset that about what's going down. But yeah, that's just kind of how life has been. Pretty stressful. I mentioned this in case there's anybody watching this who's new to the channel. I have a medical condition where I am partially allergic to my own stomach acid, and I'm a lot more susceptible to acid reflux than a normal person. And so what happens is my esophagus will gradually god damn it constrict over time because it's getting sprayed by this stomach acid. And normally I have it under control with medication, but something that I've learned is that stress tends to really exacerbate the problem. And so instead of a surgery on my esophagus lasting me, you know, 2 years or so, all the stress has made it so it's only lasted me like 6 months. The last surgery I had was back in June. And honestly, I kind of wish like there's just like a magic drug that it's like they just inject into my neck and suddenly I'm not, you know, allergic to my own goddamn stomach acid anymore. Alrighty, the GBA Bowser's Castle. Let's get started. Do. I think if I remember correctly, the second row of cups is like all courses from like the previous games. Which honestly, I really like as a concept, like when racing games, especially Mario Kart, is like, hey, check it out. This is from like this past entry. It's like, what? That's so cool. It's like a little bit of the game lives on with each entry, which is really cool. And it's like also with the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they brought in tracks from Mario Kart Tour, which is really cool because I know not a lot of people were into that title. And so Nintendo saw that and went, well, we don't want these courses to go to waste, so let's just polish them up a bit more and include them in the DLC packs. And I thought that was really cool. And I think, I don't know, I might have to revisit those tracks again, but I'm pretty sure some of the tracks got spruced up a little bit more to include some of the mechanics for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like the whole like 0G sliding things or whatever. Again, not 100%, not 100% sure, but I think might be the case. But anyways, and I have just like I just have like so much, like in terms of like Let's Plays, like things that are just on like the back burner that I'm like, I want to do this one day, but it's taking so much work. And also it's taking so long because I'm being distracted by other more pressing matters. Alright, it's time for Mushroom Gorge from the Wii! Yahoo! Third race, here we go. The timing for Mario Kart 7 is a little weird because it's slightly off from 8. And by extension, 8 Deluxe. But yeah. Anyways, man, Mushroom Gorge. Honestly, I think I have the most, like, out of all the tracks from Mario Kart Wii, Mushroom Gorge, Coconut Mall, and Wario's Mines are my top 3 faves. Because it's just, that's what I spent, like, what I remember the most from, you know, from my childhood of playing Mario Kart Wii with my sister. Man, this has just been, like, quite the trip down memory lane. Just been like, oh man, I remember this thing from my childhood. Hey, let's talk about another thing from my childhood. Of course, you know, my childhood was not all, you know, wasn't perfect. I don't think anyone's childhood is really, like, super perfect. Like, there are definitely a lot of just like, oh, yeah, that happened moments throughout my personal history. Oh, God. Anyways, but yeah, there's not a lot to my childhood that I remember fondly, but the things I do remember with a certain level of fondness, like, definitely, like, really take me back. From watching, you know, old Steven vlogs to old Let's Plays by Emil, to even playing certain video games like Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know? Just the little things in life that keep me sane. And there's a blue shell right at the end, not that it makes a difference. And now it is time for the final race. Luigi's Mansion from the DS entry. Man, it's like the DS Virtual Console and Wii U is really awesome. Like, I really appreciate it because it's allowed me to get like DS games I wouldn't normally have been able to get. But it's like, I really kind of wish like multiplayer support was a thing. Like at the very least, like download play, you know? Oh shit, I fell off the track. Because it's like, I think that was one of the greatest strengths of the DS, was that, you know, not only could you do online play with Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, but also download play. And I remember, you know, doing a lot of download play matches with friends back in the day, because even though I didn't have the game, they had it, and the game supported download play. And then, you know, on top of that, the Nintendo channel on the Wii had those gameplay demos, and that was how I was able to get a taste of all of those games that I just wasn't able to get a hold of for one reason or another. And I know I talk about it a lot, but like honestly, you know, so much of my childhood, like yeah, I had a Game Boy Advance when I was younger, but like the majority of my childhood was spent in the DS Wii era. Like when I think of like games that induce nostalgia, yeah, there are some GBA games, you know, that I think of, but most of it are, you know, DS games and Wii games, some of which I still have, thankfully, but also, you know, I think about you know, I think about all the demos that I played, you know, all the gameplay videos that I watched, because I wasn't able to, you know, play certain games, whether because it was money or because the copies that I had were busted. You know, it's just like one of the it's really interesting, and I think that's why I spend so much of my money on video games now, is because I wasn't able to get them when I was a kid, and now that I have adult money, you know, I'm like, oh, I wanted this as a kid, I wanted that as a kid, you know, I should get that and this and that, but yeah, you know, I just realized I spent so much time just talking about like my history with video games, which is a topic that comes up at least once a Let's Play. I don't know why it's a thing that just keeps popping up in my head, but it does. But I never acknowledged just how truly tight that race was. Like literally, if I screwed up at all at that last turn, Shy Guy would have totally taken me over. You know, I have 40 points, he has 30. Like, he was always on my ass. Which is insane. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Next time on Let's Play Mario Kart 7, we're going to, you guessed it, take on the next course. See you then. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications. And if you're able, consider supporting me on Patreon or Ko-fi. Links below. Thank you for your support.